Hey Bitcoiners, Lockie here from Edge21, bringing you the top 6 Bitcoin news stories of the week. Let's dive in. At number 6. Could Bitcoin be the secret ingredient to fixing America's debt crisis? Matthew Krasser of Bitcoin University breaks down a wild new concept, BitBonds. The US government is drowning in debt with $7 trillion in bonds needing refinancing next year. But here's the kicker. Instead of offering traditional bonds with high interest rates, what if they attached a Bitcoin sweetener? The idea is to issue government bonds that pay just 1% interest, way below the market rate of 4.3%, but with a twist. Bondholders get a share of Bitcoin's potential price gains. If Bitcoin skyrockets, these bonds could become gold mines. The catch? Can the US government be trusted to keep its promise? Or will history repeat itself like in 1933 and 1971 when it defaulted on gold-backed debt? With BitBonds, Uncle Sam might just become one of Bitcoin's biggest buyers, whether he likes it or not. At number 5. Could Bitcoin's price movements be predictable? According to Matthew Mazinski, who joined Marty Bent on TFTC, Bitcoin isn't following the traditional stock market's exponential growth. It's tracking a power curve. Mazinski, who has been analysing Bitcoin's monetary base since 2016, says the trend is extremely strong and scientifically amazing. His model predicts a Bitcoin price of $125K by 2025 and potentially $600K by the end of the decade. Unlike the wild, face-ripping exponential moves some expect, he argues that Bitcoin's adoption is steady, organic, and deeply ingrained in network effects. As he puts it, the growth is more explosive than you can realize. It's just your impatience for that face-ripping blow off top. So are we on the verge of a historic Bitcoin run, or are we simply watching the inevitable unfold? At number 4. Is the US government about to take a page from MicroStrategy's playbook? A groundbreaking proposal suggests that America could leverage Bitcoin-backed bonds to generate over $50 trillion, potentially wiping out the national debt by 2045. The idea, presented by institutional finance leaders in Washington, mirrors Michael Saylor's strategy, using Bitcoin's annualized 30% growth rate to issue bonds at just 1% interest, far below current treasury yields. Investors would receive both fixed returns and a stake in Bitcoin's upside, reducing US borrowing costs while accumulating Bitcoin reserves. Supporters call this a checkmate move that could cement America's financial dominance while making anti-Bitcoin policies politically impossible. The proposal could push Bitcoin into the mainstream of global finance, but will policymakers take the leap? Time will tell. But one thing is clear, Bitcoin's role in the financial system is becoming impossible to ignore. At number 3. Has the US just legitimized Bitcoin at the highest level? According to Jesse Myers, Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve is a game changer. This move confirms what Bitcoiners have long believed. Nation-state adoption was always inevitable. Here's where it gets wild. Myers believes that only 0.2% of the world has truly adopted Bitcoin, meaning 99.8% of people still haven't. That's why the biggest opportunity still lies ahead. And if you're still on the sidelines, prepare for FOMO. As Myers puts it, you're going to watch the price of Bitcoin go to $1 million. And then you're going to say, okay, I should probably own some. The Overton window has shifted. Governments, corporations, and investors are all taking notice. The question is no longer, should you own Bitcoin? It's, how much do you own? At number 2. Is Bitcoin secretly becoming one of the world's most powerful clean energy solutions? According to Daniel Batten, Bitcoin mining is revolutionizing renewable energy, turning waste into wealth. Landfills, oil fields, and bio-waste sites emit millions of tons of methane, a gas 80 times worse than carbon dioxide. But instead of flaring it into the atmosphere, Bitcoin miners capture it, convert it into power, and profitably mine Bitcoin, solving one of the biggest environmental issues on the planet. And here's the kicker, 2% of Finland's district heating already comes from Bitcoin mining exhaust heat. Even oil giants like ExxonMobil and utilities in Japan are jumping on board. As Batten puts it, Bitcoin is fixing energy markets, whether people realize it or not. Bitcoin isn't just a financial revolution, it's an energy revolution. At number 1. Is Russia using Bitcoin to bypass US sanctions? According to Reuters, Russia is increasingly using Bitcoin to facilitate oil trades with China and India, bypassing Western financial restrictions. Tens of millions of dollars in monthly oil transactions are already being settled in Bitcoin and other digital assets. Here's how it works. Chinese and Indian buyers pay for oil in yuan or rupees. A middleman converts that fiat into Bitcoin or crypto, which is then sent to Russia and exchanged into rubles. While still a small fraction of Russia's $192 billion oil trade, the trend is growing. Iran and Venezuela have already adopted similar Bitcoin strategies to evade sanctions, and Russia is now following suit. Russia's finance minister has even publicly endorsed using Bitcoin in foreign trade, and the Bank of Russia is considering legalizing Bitcoin investments for the country's wealthy elite. As global finance shifts, Bitcoin is proving its true power, a censorship-resistant, borderless financial weapon. Well, that's a wrap on your weekly dose of Bitcoin Alpha. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Edge 21 for your weekly Bitcoin fix. Bitcoin moves fast, so stay ahead of the game with us at edge21.co. Thanks for watching, stay strong, and hodl on.